You're already videoing?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I'm going to stand under this little
Perfect.
thing.
Where are you from?
I am from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada.
What was your first break?
Oh, God. My first job was a movie called Left Out that I shot for the National Film Board in Toronto. And I played a girl whose parents couldn't afford to send her on a class trip to Quebec City. And they still show it in schools in Canada to this day, which is pretty funny.
What else have you been in?
Oh my God. I've been acting for 30 years. So I've been in a lot of stuff. I've done a ton of television and features, and I've kind of done everything. I've been in plays, and right now I'm in a series called Murder in the First on TNT. Yeah.
How do you feel about this career?
About my career? I think it's I don't know. I mean, I try not to think about it, if that makes sense. I sort of try to keep my my experiences when it comes to work really sort of isolated and really separate from my personal life, because it just helps me, you know. I mean, I always think it's that age-old thing as an actor. You don't really want to be you want to keep sort of an element of like privacy to yourself, so that in your work you can be as sort of vulnerable as possible.
How did you decide to become an actor?
I don't know, it's really weird. Nobody in my family's in the business, and like I said, you know, I'm from a small town in Canada, and I just always knew that it was what I wanted to do from a really, really young age. And I wasn't particularly outgoing, so it was even weirder. I just kind of knew this is what I want to do, and here I am.
How would you describe your specialty or type?
My specialty or type? Well, it's funny. I was actually just talking to my agent the other day, and I was like, I want to play somebody who isn't strong, because I always play characters that are strong, and that are intellectual, or that are educated, and I want to play somebody who's not. That's what I want to do. That's my goal.
Who's your favorite actor who you look up to?
So many. I love Judi Dench. I love Meryl Streep. I love Kate. All the Kates. I love Kate Winslet and Kate Blanchett. Those are the women that really I kind of look to. Look to anything they do. I would see, just to sort of watch to see what they do.
What would your ideal job be?
Well, I'm a writer as well, so I'm starting to feel, you know, I've only been writing professionally for a couple of years, but I feel like writing is ideal for me, because I don't have to worry about what I'm wearing, or my hair's done, or I can just kind of be me. And so writing for me has kind of been a dream these last few years. So I love it.
Do you consider yourself to be lucky?
No, I wouldn't say that I'm lucky. I mean, I think I'm lucky in that I have an amazing life. So, you know, I do say that a lot. I will say to my husband, you know, God, I'm so lucky. Like, we're so lucky. We're so, you know, we're all lucky, I think, to live where we live and have the lives that we live. But I don't think I've been particularly lucky in terms of, you know, I've had to work really hard. I was never one of those people that kind of moved to Hollywood and just had it happen. It was always very, you know, it's always been sort of something I've had to work really hard to sort of keep and maintain. So.
What advantages do you have?
What advantages do I have as a what? As a woman, as an actor, as a what? As a Canadian?
In life.
In life, what advantages do I have? I mean, I think I'm incredibly blessed. You know, I think I have sort of you know, all the big stuff is in place. You know, I have a 7-year-old son who's the love of my life, and I have an amazing husband, and I have a great family, and so I think the advantages in my life are, you know, I have all the big stuff in place, so all the stuff that matters.
Would you rather have a car or a diploma?
Car. I don't have any diplomas.
How do you feel about globalization?
In regards to the world, I think it's, I think that the world is a really, really, my husband and I were just talking about this the other day. I think that there's, I look at my son and I look at sort of what his future is going to hold, and I just think about where my father came from in terms of where his daughters are now, and I just think the world it's becoming, there's just too many people. I think there's too many people.
What do you think about the amount of stuff people buy?
Too much. I mean, I think it's really gross. I think Costco, I go into Costco and I can't even breathe. I actually, my husband and I have started this thing now, and with William, and where we just, we don't buy anything unless it brings us joy and brings us, if it's something that brings sort of beauty into your life, then it's worthwhile. Otherwise, it's just, I don't buy. I'm not a consumer at all. And I never have been. No. I'm not like a shopper. It doesn't make me happy. It makes me stressed out.
Would you rather live the American way or be a socialist?
Well, I'm a Canadian, so I would say I live the Canadian way in America.
What does that mean to you?
Ooh. Somebody's chopping down a tree. What's weird, I always sort of thought that I would move back to Canada. I never thought I would raise kids here, and I always sort of thought, that I would go back, and I probably will one day. I mean, we always sort of talk about moving back to Canada, so, but growing up, the American way was sort of viewed as being, as a Canadian growing up, you always viewed Americans as being really rude and being really, obsessed with things. And there is a difference between Canadians and Americans. I mean, it's very, very, it's very noticeable to me. I always can sort of get a vibe when I work with someone who's Canadian. I can always kind of tell. There's just this, there's a difference. I love Americans. My husband's American. My son's American. But, there's a little difference. Yeah.
What does the future look like to you?
I mean, wide open, just empty, wide open, I'm open to sort of see what's going to happen. Hopefully, good things.
How do you feel about having children?
I have a son, and it's the best thing ever, and I would love another child. So, I am hoping for that. One more.
Can you tell me what conflicts or challenges the world is facing today?
Oh my God, so many. The obvious things, but I think in terms of, it's funny when you have a kid, you sort of see things differently, and you sort of see things through their eyes. And I think that, for young people, I don't know, I feel like in a way, there's so many things that are better now than when I was a kid, just in terms of tolerance and acceptance of people, and there's so many things now that I feel like are better. There's obviously things that are worse, and we could focus on that, but I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that things are moving in the right direction.
What is your favorite way to communicate?
Oh, sadly, I'd have to say text. It's awful to say, but it's just so much quicker. I talk to my mother every day. My mom's in Hamilton, and I speak to her every day, and we have long chats. But other than my mom, I don't really talk on the phone. I don't like talking on the phone. Text is easier. Just quick, and you're done. And letters. I like letters still, too. Big, long letters are great.
How do you feel about the creative scene in Los Angeles?
I think it's finally, when I first moved here, it just got such everybody was always so down on LA, and especially, of course, New Yorkers, and, people were for so many years, I mean, LA has been such the kind of butt of the joke in terms of the creative, sort of the art scene and the theater scene, but I think it's changed. I mean, I think, even just in terms of, food and, I think it's amazing. I think it rivals anywhere. It's, super, 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 I'm super satisfied living here, and I've lived in a lot of different places, and I think it's great. It's super varied and cool.
What is your favorite book, film, and music right now?
Oh, right now I'm reading that totally annoying book that is a New York Times bestseller. I'm going to forget the name of it. It's the one about the crazy woman who like teaches you how to organize your whole life, like the tidying. Do you know what I'm talking about? The secret art of tidying up or something like that. I'm reading that right now and it's making me crazy. Favorite band right now? Did you say band?
Music.
Music? I just had my girlfriend in town and we listened to tons of old Michael Jackson. We listened to War on Drugs and we listened to lots of old Bjork. And what was the other question?
Film.
Film. I just saw Tangerine, which was amazing. Have you seen Tangerine? It's really cool. Is that Tangerine? It's so good. Yeah, really good. It was made on iPhones, which is like even cooler, which makes it even better.